Hi everybody, this is LoveVFX for LoveVFX, and I'm here with Heidi Harnisch, who's a lead compositor from Germany. Thank you so much for taking the time, and let's start with the first question that I've prepared here. So, what is the thing you would have liked to know early in your career?
I think the thing that I was struggling the most with was not being able to ask questions, because I always felt like I needed to know everything already when starting out.
Yeah.
And really just everybody is bringing it. And it's no question is a stupid question, and everybody is just trying to figure it out. So it's fine to ask and ask a lot. And you grow as a team that way. Nobody is perfect.
And I think it's also very important to not only ask questions, but also not to be afraid to fail, because only through failing you learn. Like when you have obstacles and you maybe not able to pull it off at the first time, you just, through trial and error, figure it out, or by asking people, as you just said. And okay, thank you very much. That's a very cool answer and so true. What is the part of your job that you are most passionate about?
What am I most passionate about? Silly answer, lenses.
Lenses?
Yeah, because for compositing, to emulate what a real world lens is doing is so important and is so often overlooked. But it adds so much to the realism when you integrate CG, or even when you are painting over something. And I'm very passionate about looking at lenses and learning what lenses are doing and what are the imperfections of lenses that we want to match when we integrate CG. So I'm a bit of a lens nerd.
So okay, then a follow-up question: What lenses do you prefer, spherical or anamorphic lenses? The anamorphic look.
I definitely prefer the anamorphic look, because there's so much more to explore compared to spherical lenses. They are just so curious what they are doing. It's so much fun to work with them.
So I take it you also have a passion for trying to really recreate certain lens effects at the end of your shot, and really, especially like the distortions and the flares and everything. Is that something that you like to look at as, a reference that you might have seen and then recreate it?
Yes, absolutely. So on previous projects, I built lens setups that would emulate chromatic aberrations, the different types of chromatic aberrations, and lens flares, as you said, are very, very interesting. You can study them for hours, and they do so interesting stuff. So yeah, that's so much fun.
So true. Okay, the next question. What is the most challenging part about your job?
The different layers of supervision on projects. I find it very challenging to satisfy every layer of supervision that might not, everybody wants to contribute their best, obviously, but sometimes you start running in circles. You try to satisfy your in-house visual effects supervisor, you are trying to satisfy the client-side visual effects supervisor, who's trying to satisfy the director. Yeah. It gets very exhausting after a while to kind of pedal through all these steps, and yeah, I find that's probably the most exhausting point. And at the end of the day, I don't feel like I myself contributed a lot to a shot, because there have been so many notes from other people that I don't really see the quality of my own work anymore.
But then again, you are the filter, or you kind of are the person responsible for translating the feedback into images yourself, or through communication with other artists. So that's kind of a way to put in your own how would you put it, to put in something of you in there, in that work?
Yes, but I wish the entire process was a little more close-knit, and the communication would be a little more direct, so you feel more like you're a part of a team and not this team is working against that team of supervision. So it feels a bit like a battle, and not so much like we are pulling on this together. So yeah.
No, I absolutely get it. Okay, let's go to I think it is the last question. No, sorry, there are two more questions. What are the 5 most frequent notes you have given compositors on a shot?
Can you repeat that?
What are the 5 most frequent notes that you have given compositors on a shot? Like, I don't know, break up the specs, or match the grain better, or whatever it is. What is like in your head where you say, oh, this is always something that appears in dailies, or maybe not even that you have given, but things that are memorable that always come up. Yeah.
That's a tough one.
Take your time, no problem.
I think dark edges. It's probably number 1. Like, get rid of the dark edges. The second one is get rid of the bright edges, which are a little rarer. So my notes mostly are QC related, as I'm a complete. So something that comes up a lot in recent years is please reduce the edge extent, because everybody is using edge extent even when keying, and it's making the edges so flat. So that is one that comes up more and more, and I'm getting really frustrated with that one. And I think reduce the diffusion, because people started to glow up everything, and it's just like, yeah, no, thank you. Please reduce it a little bit, and yes, there we go.
Yeah, it's very difficult, and it's always dependent on the shot and on the taste of the client, and yeah, it's really, there's really not that one diffusion formula for everything, right?
So yeah, in the real world, we don't see as much glow and diffusion as we like to add.
But it always depends on the lens that you're using, right?
Of course, it depends. Like, you should always look at the reference in your shot, look at the brightest point and match it to that, but don't go overboard.
Yeah. No, of course, the subtle is many times the right way. Okay, let's go for the last question. What are your thoughts about AI-generated content and the future of films and TV shows 5 to 10 years from now?
I'm actually a bit optimistic about that. And what I hope that will happen is kind of like a shift in the entire industry, is like to get away from the big production companies that kind of control everything and keep visual effects studios small, make all the money. I hope that independent filmmakers will have an easier time to produce content, but I'm also hoping for a shift in when AI is producing a lot of content, that people will get a taste again for like handcrafted movies and handcrafted content where no AI is involved. Kind of like we are producing a lot of stuff in industrial, and people are shifting more towards like locally produced stuff in terms of like, I don't know, when it comes to pottery and stuff. So handcrafted stuff is on the rise again, because people don't want to see mass-produced stuff. And I think with AI we will also reach that point somewhere in the future, where a lot of content is produced with AI and people want to see a human touch again. And I hope at that point that also enables the industry to be a little more flexible and smaller, more independent movie makers, that they have a chance to get an audience out there and also be able to produce their stuff a little cheaper. So, yeah. That
sounds very good. I hope it will be that way. But to be honest, I think nobody really knows what it's going to be like in 5 to 10 years from now with AI, the exponential curve of technology. That I think it is exponential, or at least it feels like it. Thank you so much for taking the time, Heidi. And yeah, thank you guys for watching, and bye-bye.